The Patriots beat the Bills 14-10 on Monday Night Football. We kind of knew what we were signing up for just by the pregame show. Everything leading up to the game in Buffalo, the conditions were terrible. The wind was going crazy. It was going to be a hard game for the offense to get anything going. We knew that, but we never expected Bill Belichick to just throw 3 times the whole game. We were at the top of the fourth quarter, and they had only thrown once in 3 quarters. And that was enough. That was enough. Even Bill Belichick called it a high school. It looked like it was a high school game out there. They were just running the ball, and it worked. The Bills are struggling. The Bills are not living up to their potential. They're not living up to the hype that they got in the preseason. They're definitely not following up last season with a strong follow-up season. And now the Bills are the 7th seed in the AFC, and they play the Bucs next. So potentially after this weekend, they could be out of the playoffs, which is just crazy because the Bills, they beat the Chiefs like week 4, week 5, and people were crowning them. They were thinking, okay, the Bills are going to represent the AFC. This is the start of, the Bills taking over the AFC. And now they're not even in first place of the division. They lose to the Patriots. They're 1 game back. Thankfully for the Bills, they do see them in 2 weeks. The Patriots, or 3 weeks. I think they play the Bucs this week. They play the Panthers, and then they play the Patriots again. So we'll see how they do. But the Bills need to get it together. The Patriots had a great plan. They were just going to run the ball. They're going to run the ball. Hopefully they break one, and they did. They took the lead. They got the 2-point conversion, and then they got a couple more field goals, and that was enough. And although the Bills defense, if you guys saw the Micah Hyde post-game interview, he got a little upset because they interviewed the guy that was interviewing them, did ask a kind of foul question. He was just saying that it's the first time a team has lost when the other team has only thrown the ball 3 times. And how does the defense feel about that? Are you embarrassed? And Micah Hyde and another Bills players, they just got offended. They were like, what kind of question is this? But I think if they were to just be able to talk freely, to just open up and really express themselves, they would say, hey, the defense did their thing. We held them to 14 points. The Patriots, who have been scoring a lot, who've been beating their opponents by 10 plus points these last few weeks, putting 50 on some teams. We know the Patriots could score. The defense did their thing, holding them down to 14. But the Bills' offense was just terrible. It was atrocious. It was hard to watch. They couldn't get anything going. And then at the end of the fourth quarter, they got a few drives into the Patriots' red zone, and they could not convert. Josh Allen took sacks that he was not supposed to. He tried to make the big play. He tried to extend the play. A lot of times, Josh Allen should just throw the ball away, live to see another down. But he keeps trying to bully ball. You shrug off 2 or 3 defensive ends, shrug off a couple linebackers on the way to make a play, and those plays were just not there. Even when he did escape a tackle or 2, the wind was just too strong for any improvisation play to work. If the ball stayed in the air any time, the ball was just gonna lose its spin, lose its accuracy. And I think the Patriots knew that. Bill Belichick saw the forecast, and he had the perfect game plan. The defense, as we know, the Patriots always have an elite defense. This year's no different. They have one of the best, if not the best defense, opportunistic defense in the NFL. And the Bills just couldn't figure it out. They tried to play a little conservative in the first half. In the second half, once they started, trying to do what they usually do, it worked a little bit in the fourth, but not really. They couldn't really score. The only way the Bills scored was when the Patriots, Harry, the punt returner, hit him in the helmet, and they give the Bills the ball from like the 18th, and then it was just like one slant, and they scored a touchdown. Other than that, the Bills would have just scored 3 points the whole game. It was atrocious. The Bills are on a downward spiral. I would not be surprised if the Bills do not make the playoffs. If you look at their schedule, they have the Buccaneers this week, the Panthers, the Patriots, the Falcons, and the Jets. So they should beat the Jets, they should beat the Falcons, and they should beat the Panthers. I don't have any belief in them to beat the Buccaneers this weekend. I think the Buccaneers should take care of the Bills, especially how the Bills are playing right now. And going to Foxborough to play the Patriots to get revenge, I don't see them having, having that desire, having that, they don't have the team. They don't have the guys for it. I think the Patriots have their number. They're in their head. They just bullied them in Buffalo. So I don't see them beating the Patriots. So is 3-2 good enough to get them into the playoffs? They're 7-5 right now. So that would make them 10-7. Is 10-7 enough in the AFC? And if they slip up once, as we've seen, the Bills have been capable of losing. They lost to the Jaguars. We'll see how they do against the Panthers or the Falcons or the Jets. The Panthers and the Falcons, they're capable of having a good game and pulling up an upset. And the Jets beat the Bengals, and the Jets beat who the Jets beat. They beat a couple good teams. So the Jets also have potential to upset teams. So we'll see if the Bills get through their 3 victories that, we're giving to them. But it's looking tough. What a fall from grace from the Buffalo Bills for making the AFC Championship game. And Josh Allen needs to get it together. He got that massive contract, huge extension, deserved to a degree because he had a great season last year, second in the MVP. But now, he has to follow that up. He has to earn that paycheck every season. And this season, he's not having the best of years. He struggled yesterday, and it's just incredible that the Patriots were able to win, just throwing the ball 3 times. Just the fact that Bill Belichick is able to do that, he doesn't care about players' feelings or if they don't get the ball. We're gonna run the ball, and it's funny how Manning. If you watched the game in the Manning telecast, they were saying that what's his name, Mac Jones could just go to the bus. He doesn't even have to shower. He doesn't have to clean up or anything. That he's good. They could even use the uniform next week. He did nothing, and that's fine. That's fine because Bill Belichick had a game plan and he stuck to it. And Bill Belichick, he's the GOAT, man. He's the best coach of all time. I think he's the only one that has the cojones to do this. And it worked. So credit to Bill Belichick. And also not so much credit to that Bills offense, because that Bills offense was atrocious yesterday. I know the conditions were bad. I know you're playing against an all-time coach and a great defense, but you should have been able to do more. They did nothing the whole game, and they deserved to lose. And now their playoff stakes are hanging in the balance. We'll see what they do. For my money, I still believe they'll figure it out. They have a lot of talent, and they are 7-5. There is a lot of teams, in their heels. You got the Steelers, 6-5-1, Colts 7-6, Raiders 6-6, Browns 6-6, Broncos 6-6. Even the Dolphins are 6-7. We'll talk about them in a little bit. But there's a lot of teams right there that are, trying to get their position. So we'll see. But I do think the Bills will figure it out and they'll get there. But nevertheless, what a game. I hope everyone watched it. I wouldn't say great game, but it was an interesting game. It was a different game. You wanted to keep watching just to see whoa, is this really happening? No throws, terrible conditions. Kicker Nick Folk was shooting wide left because he knew the wind was going to push it right. It was just insane. What a game.